talking about the deep dive planning, that's the experience plays, I said a huge role, but in my opinion, is if you don't have experience, I don't think it's going to turn out good, because how many times have we done things and somebody will look at you and go, how did you know to do that? And it's like, well, I've been here, done that so many times that I know. And some things you just can't put down on paper. But in your planning, you can take that experience and put it down on paper as much as you can, so that you can train and help people for each situation that comes up. You just cannot substitute experience. I'll talk about it in a minute when we're talking about vendors, but some people say, why don't you use this vendor? They do great at meals for food. And I went, yeah, for a pretty party, they do great. But I have people that are hungry, that need a lot of calories, that are working, and they eat a 20-ounce steak versus a 4-ounce steak, folks, and you can't feed them that 4 ounce of steak and expect them to be happy. So you've got to have that experience to know those things. That vendor, yeah, they're great for your party next week at your house, but for feeding linemen and engineers and all the personnel out there, you need an experienced vendor, and you understand that. That's where your experience comes in. The other thing, to talk about detailed planning for specific needs. Again, I've mentioned this a couple of times. Your planning needs to look at each area, the nuts and bolts for each area, each section. The type of event determines how you respond and what you respond with as far as equipment. The type of staging site. Is it paved? Is it not? Is there drainage? Is there gray water disposal on site? You get into the specific needs for each site. So, yeah, you can have an overall plan, but you've got to get to the point where you have a plan for a specific site when we're talking logistics, and a specific time of the year. When it's 10 degrees outside, you don't need air conditioning. So, you just do a different plan for a winter storm, a summer storm, or one that you could have heating and cooling going on this time of year. You could see that. So you've got to have that. The other thing is your deep dive into your plans. It backs up your story, why you're doing things, what you're doing for your public utility commission, the public, so that when you're questioned by channel whatever on TV, why are you doing things? That's in the plan, our experience through the years, and this is why we do it. And again, getting to the nuts and bolts of why you do things. You've got to include as much as you can in your plan, and then to be flexible.